All right, Donnie, I think we're live. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm already seeing some people emoting on the stream here. And to let people know what's happening, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the host with the most, Donovan. Tell us what we're doing tonight, Donovan.
Well, thank you, Gordon Keith. I'm glad to be here tonight. Thank you. No, we are here for a couple of hours because my actual domino tournament is happening as we speak. Now, I am supposed to start getting some updates here really soon, but we're here to talk about At Last, talk about dominoes, try to raise some money so we can get that number pretty high so we can raise some money here for At Last and the actual domino tournament. So first of all, thank you so much to Mullen & Mullen Personal Injury Law Firm for being the title sponsor for the domino tournament this year. Their help in this has been really cool. And Norm, what are you doing?
Oh, everything's fine.
Shut off your phone. Like I said, the domino tournament is going on right now, but we still have an opportunity for you to go and buy some raffle tickets for the SUV. If you want to win the SUV, go to theticket.com, purchase a ticket. You can win a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport for yourself, or this year we have an opportunity for you to go and buy a ticket for an impoverished family if you want to donate that way. I think that's a really cool option that we have now because a reliable vehicle will totally change their lives.
Yeah, that's like a life changer for everyone in the family.
No question. And just to be able to make sure you have some reliable wheels so you can take care of your family and get to work and do all the things that you need to do and get the kids to where they need to get and all that. So you can have that option also to buy 1 ticket, 5 tickets, 10 tickets, however you want to do it. Spend that money and give a family a chance to change their lives forever. So with your help, Gordon, we're here tonight, and we can try and see how much money we can raise. We can try to get the donations up. And so when we wow everybody with the number that we've raised for this tournament this year, then everyone can, do a flip, turn upside down, jump up and down for joy, kind of like Rocky and Apollo did on the slow motion scene in Rocky 4.
Well, which one? What is Rocky 2? Is the one where it ends with them punching each other in the face,
right?
Friendly like,
yeah.
They're good friends.
Ding, ding.
Were you into the Rocky movies?
Oh yeah,
I was too, man. I love those things.
Oh yeah.
And, I remember watching Rocky 2 and Rocky 3 the most. When I went back and watched the original Rocky, I forgot how depressing and kind of dark it is.
I was just about to say that it was so like, oh, my gosh, I don't know if this dude's going to make it. And then all of a sudden, I do like the glitzy and the glamorous Rocky way more than Rocky 1. But even the last one, I know a lot of people kind of down the last one. What's wrong with that?
Well, which last one is that? The Drago one, the one with the Russian? Or are you talking about even after that when he had a son?
The one where he fought Antonio Tarver. Like he was way past his prime and he had the restaurant.
How many of these have they done?
I am going to go out on a limb and say 6. But I feel like that's one too many.
Yeah, because I think I stopped watching after the Drago one, the one where he's battling the Russian, which I think is 4.
Tommy Morrison was 5.
And he's
no longer with us.
Right. He passed, I believe it was AIDS, wasn't it? Didn't he die of AIDS?
Yes.
I remember it being kind of a shocking death.
So I think the one with Antonio Tarver was Rocky 6.
Okay.
That one I felt was not bad.
Uh-huh.
Like, it all follows a formula, of course. But we've grown to – what's wrong with having a formula?
Well, am I crazy to think that there was one where he had a kid, like his son was a boxer or something? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I think you may be talking about Creed because Apollo had the son. They had 3 Creed movies, but Rocky was definitely in 1, maybe even in 2. I can't remember if he was in 2 or not.
Was Carl Weathers Jr. in any of the Creed movies, or was this much later?
Because, spoiler alert. You
realize,
that's
right. He
right.
He passed.
That was Drago that took him out. But he had the son that's Michael B. Jordan that was Creed. And those movies, that's
what I hear. They got good reviews and stuff.
Pretty good. Again, follows the formula to a T, and I absolutely love it.
Well, we're not here to talk about Rocky, even though you and I are.
Yeah.
But if we're going to be Rocky and Apollo, I actually want to be Apollo,
Why?
oddly enough.
Well, you want to die in Rocky 4?
No, I don't want to die.
Okay.
But when I was a kid and watching the Rocky movies, I always liked Apollo the best because I always liked the quick-moving, flashy. Like I loved Muhammad Ali and I loved Sugar Ray Leonard. These were my guys. I like anyone who does a windmill and then punches you with the other hand. Like I was a kid,
playground,
so I like
right,
anything that's
right.
real tricked up. That's my deal. So, and I just thought Apollo looked cooler. Like I hated the way Rocky was all hunched over and looked kind of.
And just
he
didn't even
leaned
look
into
like
his
what he
punches,
was
which made no
doing.
sense
Right,
too.
Right. I just never like if you watch boxing, if you think Rocky is what boxing is, you mad when people throw jabs.
Right.
Because every punch they throw
Yeah.
in Rocky is the biggest haymaker you could
Right.
ever dream about landing. But hey, I love it. Love everything about it.
And then I also loved Apollo because he had the greatest color scheme shorts of all time, which is the red, white, and blue.
Right.
It's the like who else has that? Like Harlem Globetrotters. I loved their color scheme. I loved Evel Knievel's color scheme.
So
Any kind of red, white, and blue.
Yeah, you're just a true
with
American.
stars.
That's what that is, right?
That's just right up my alley. Right up my alley. Yeah, so we are raising money, Donovan, for At Last Night with the Domino tournament. And the Domino tournament this year is online.
It is.
When we were planning this and everything, and I say we, I mean when the higher-ups, when Randy and everybody and you putting it together. But there was that decision point where we had to make whether we're going to do it in person or do it virtually online again. And that was at a time when the Omicron, I guess, was spiking. And so
And
we were at a drop-dead date and had to decide, and we
Yeah.
decided to do it online.
And then Redbird is going through some renovations that even when we did it the first year, they were going through major renovations. It just started, and they had the middle portion that we were able to have the tournament. But over the few years, they're still trying to work everything through. And I think next year, Redbird will be pristine.
Right.
And we'll be able to make sure we get back in person because I do love walking around tables and people playing dominoes. Like, that's right in my element.
It's the best.
Dude, I'm telling you, I cannot
It's
tell
all the
you.
feel goods because it reminds me when we did the event there at Redbird and could walk around the tables and hear everybody talking to each other and all that. It reminded me of my family when everybody was playing. All the adults would be playing a dominoes in the kitchen,
Right.
and you'd hear them in there laughing. And dominoes, for whatever reason, is like the most trash talking sport ever. And my family was no exception. They were always making fun of each other,
Right.
and I associate it with happy times.
I mean,
And Redbird, when you're walking around there, you're hearing people laughing, and you can hear the click of the tiles and all that stuff. I love it.
we had my grandfather is the first one to actually talk about dominoes with me, and he told me that he invented Big Six. So that the trash talking started right there when he told me he invented Big Six. So that's where it started, man. And then in college, it just blew up. I probably spent more time playing dominoes than even partying, and I never even imagined that would even be the case. We spent so much time, even so after I got out of school, I had a group of maybe 8 of us that would play on a Wednesday night during the week. We'd rotate houses, and it's till 2, 3 in the morning. And I never understood how the wives even went for it because they're in the bedroom trying to fall asleep, and we're just talking and laughing and screaming until 3 in the morning. And all right, next week, whose house? Your house. Okay,
Right.
We're done. And we did it for probably 3 years straight.
Mhm.
So much fun. Always look forward, and none of the ladies complained, at least around us. You know, they just accepted it. Plus, we had a domino extravaganza the day before Thanksgiving for about 6 years in a row. Thanksgiving Eve, it was till like 7 in the morning. We're playing dominoes.
And do you guys always just play like fives or
Yep,
something like that?
That's it. Yeah, I know there are a lot of different variations, but I've never played 42. It's just always been 5. And it's just been such a major part of my life. And I remember talking to Randy one day, and, you hear about all the charity things that go on with the ticket, and they're all great, and Dunham and Miller Open, and you had your skeet shooting. and Sean Bass had his disc golf, and the Bad Radio had theirs, bowling for spares. And I was like, man, I want to do something, but I thought golf was kind of too easy because everyone would kind of do that. And
Right.
I just started playing, but I wanted to think of
There's
something
plenty
different.
of charity golf tournaments in
Right,
town.
right. And just trying to think of something that would kind of scream me, but I kind of wanted everyone else involved. And at first, I just didn't feel that Dominoes would be it. I didn't think enough people cared. And so when I was talking to Randy, who may join us a little bit later, we were having lunch one day, and I just looked at him and said, hey, man, I think I want to have a domino tournament. And he kind of looked up, and we kind of hashed it out right there at the Buzz Brew, right down the way in Victory Plaza, just trying to see how it would go. You know, if that's something that people would be interested in. I'm so nervous about your name being on something. It's a whole different ball game than when you're supporting someone else and doing this. But, you know, you're the face of it. So I just thought that I just want something that I know I can identify with. And I know a few people would, but I didn't realize the impact maybe that the game had amongst a lot of other people. And if we're being truthful here, I seriously thought it was a black man sport. I didn't know a lot of other people played. So when we started doing this, and a lot of people were telling me that they played and all this other stuff, so I'm like, okay. So it started getting legs right there. And, of course, that last was the natural choice of the charity. And I know we'll get more into that later. But just to see everybody playing dominoes and the app that they're using, I play dominoes, Gordon, maybe 3 hours on my phone every single day.
Are you serious? Wow.
Dead serious right now. Everyone, you know, hey, look me up. You know, we'll play a game or whatever, and I probably have about maybe 60 opponents right now. See, that all these opponents are waiting for me to make a move.
So you got 60 games going on right now.
Just about right now. I just will spend. I'm in bed at night. The phone, play a few rounds, and if everyone's up, you'll get plays and moves and all that stuff. So it consumes me, man. And this is a real deep passion of mine. So I'm glad it has resonated though amongst everyone, and everyone's just kind of supporting and realizing and playing and all that stuff. So I really do love it.
So tell us how the tournament is set up. It's 2 days. This is the first round.
They're playing right now. You know what? I'm going to text to see if I can get an update about how it's going right now, because it did start at 6. And I do believe the last time we had 96 participants, 6 different brackets, 16 people in each bracket. They play each other like the March Madness style. One game, you lose, you're out. You win, you advance. And the winner of each bracket will play me tomorrow to see who's the grand champion. And the first year we did that, I went 2-4, and I was getting my ass kicked. And I was mad. I lost the first 4 games and wound up winning the last 2 to save face. And last year I went 4-2. So this is I take this seriously. Like I don't want anyone to beat me. So I'm not trying to give anyone anything.
See, I like officially suck at dominoes. I mean, like I thought I was good when I was a young guy, and an older adolescent, teenager and stuff like that. And then I started playing some people who are good at it. No, I'm not good. Because I get tired head in figuring out what people are holding in their hand. Like I start kind of calculating what's already been played, what I have, and then at some point I just get tired. It's like when I play chess. Same thing. I'll think 3-4 moves ahead, and then I need to take a nap.
You start losing a little interest.
And just say, well, I'll just play this, and we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Oh, who's texting me right now? Yeah. No, I understand that. That's probably one of the games that I feel that I have a chance playing anyone. Now, I have a couple people that totally kick my butt. Totally. But this is a game like you're not going to win every single time. I don't care who I'm playing. You and I can play 10 games. You may win 2 games, and that's fine. I still feel that I'm way better than you, but you'll still win a couple games. That's just how it goes, just what you're holding and all that stuff. But it is so much fun, man, and I'm so glad, this thing sold out. And I just got a message from Catherine. It said she played and she lost the first game, so she lost in the first round.
Oh,
so I'm trying to get more updates on how things are going. And even a couple of people that I played in the tournaments in years past, I've wound up playing them all the time now. So,
Mhm.
all right, we're playing in this in the tournament. He beat me, especially this one. I'm trying to think of his username, but he kicked my butt in the tournament, and then we start playing all the time now, and I'm trying to, seek my revenge, and I think I've been doing pretty well. But
Well, I think it's great that I love it that this is different than a golf tournament, and it's different than all the other. The ticket's pretty good at doing a bunch of different events.
right,
There for a while, even Sean did that disc golf thing,
loved
which I
it.
thought
Yeah.
that was great
yeah,
too.
it's so different. It's
Yeah.
something out of the ordinary.
Yeah, and Dunham and Miller, they do the golf tournament, which that's been an incredible success.
And even your skeet shooting event. That's
I
something
know,
that
and
no one would even
I
think
haven't been
about
doing
doing.
it the past few years, and I need to come up with something else to do with that because I love to do a big event every year. But Dominoes is good, and hopefully next year, if everything is back to normal, we can do it all in person, and that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And I think that we really wanted to do that this year, like this. And if we next year, hopefully we can do like a hybrid event, like maybe the second round is in person, the first round maybe virtual online. But what we wanted to do, even for this Twitch stream, was we wanted to be able to tune in and see some matches going on.
Right.
And then you and I could comment over them, and then also have it set up to where we can hear the participants talking to each other. Because the trash talking is
The greatest part.
it's the best part of Dominoes.
I've had my mom talked about a ton playing dominoes. I think one of the greatest trash talking things that I've done. I remember we were at my house and there were probably 5 tables going at the same time, and one of my fraternity brothers who plays a ton, and we usually play with each other, but we weren't playing together on
You
the
and your
same
fraternity
team.
brothers did that?
Right. As soon as I said, okay, we weren't on the same team for that particular moment. He was getting frustrated because we were beating him, and he was like, "Man, I can't draw a hand." So I grabbed a piece of paper, I put my hand on the piece of paper, and I drew an
the hand.
outline of my hand, and I handed it to him. And he wanted to beat me up for like the last 2 hours of the whole
Right.
thing. Like everybody fell out. It's so much fun when you hear unique things that are said
Right.
on the domino table. That's what makes everything great and funny. So, yeah, hopefully we can get a chance to do that next year. I know you and Huey and Randy and all the people were really trying to work to see if that was possible, and we just couldn't get it done. But
Yeah, we couldn't get it done
we'll make it happen.
in time this time, but it's cool
Yeah.
if we got it going now. Like right now, I believe that we are streaming on the Twitch channel,
Mhm.
the Ticket Twitch channel. It's also being streamed on my Twitch channel, which is actual Gordon Keith is my username. Because the dude who got Gordon Keith, he has 3 followers, and he hasn't done anything on it like in years.
Is it a picture of you on there?
No, it's
Oh,
nobody.
okay,
It's like not
okay.
even a picture of anybody. It's just
Yeah.
like it's a dead name basically.
Right.
And
Well,
so
that's
mine's-
karma for getting all the websites. and
Yeah,
all the
because
different shows.
I have Twitch channel Bob and Dan.
right.
That was the other Twitch channel.
I was looking up Normandy Invasion, and it said owned by Gordon
Owned by
Keith.
Gordon
Just
Keith,
all that.
right.
Yeah, I was looking for all that.
So it's actual Gordon Keith is my Twitch handle. You see it on the Ticket Twitch stream. You can also see it on the Ticket's Facebook page. I think we're going live there, and on the Ticket's YouTube channel. So we're live on all of those platforms right now. And you and I plan to go till about 9
Mhm.
o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
And this is benefiting At Last. Now, At Last is something that means a lot to me and George and Craig, and you as well, because we're all friends with the same guy who's one of the most amazing guys that we know, Randy Bowman.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of P1s may remember Randy because I did a show, like a special show with him during the George Floyd summer. Randy and I got together and did kind of a conversation about race and what was happening in our country at the time. And I heard from so many people who were so bowled over and wowed by Randy, and I loved that we were able to do that because you and I talked to Randy, and we know he's the smartest guy that we know, and we know what an amazing person he is. But it was great to bring him on the Ticket and have him do, I think it was a couple hours with me.
It was incredible, an
Mhm.
incredible conversation, and he's one of the few guys that you can say you would want him on your Jeopardy team,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'd want him in the alley if
Right.
you had a street
Yeah.
fight, because I'd take him first round in both of those.
Right.
There's not a lot of dudes out there like that.
So he's great, and Randy, I've known Randy for probably 25 years now, a long time, and he always said, that he was going to finish doing his business. This is the thing, Randy builds businesses, and then he used to be an entertainment lawyer, representing acts as diverse as Vanilla Ice. It's one of Vanilla Ice's first.
I love those stories.
I know,
so
I do
great.
too.
Yeah.
And then he went into business. He owned a logistics company, and he always told me when he was doing that logistics company, which it was a very successful. One of the most successful, I think, black-owned businesses in Dallas. But he told me when he was gonna sell that, when he was getting out of that, he had an idea for a charity, a thing that he wanted to do to give back to the community, because Randy came from a poor background. His mom had to scrape together to raise him and his siblings, and Randy scrapped for a while, and then of course he made an incredible career for himself. And he said, when I'm done with the career, I'm going to do something to help people who were like me, who could have used these kind of resources. And he came up with that incredible program called At Last. And it's like a boarding experience for kids usually in elementary school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a facility where they go during the week to be able to focus on their studies. They have tutors at the boarding house, I guess you would call it, and the residential halls that these kids stay in, and make sure that the kids get good nutrition. They have tutors. They have a calm place to study, to sleep. Because, when you're in a household that's a small house and you got a bunch of siblings, a lot of times there's a lot of chaos going on and you can't focus on what you got to do.
Yeah, it's like, just say you're an 8-year-old. And I think we can't wrap our heads around the 8-year-old being the oldest sibling and having 4 youngsters, and the single mom, will maybe have to go work. And that 8-year-old is in charge of the house.
Right.
And who's getting work done when you have to make sure that your siblings are fed and, they're not doing this or not getting into that or anything like that. So it's just so many distractions. It's so easy. And we know this. We're just talking about it. You play a game and you can get easily distracted as a grown man. And now you're a kid and you're trying to take care of your business. And sometimes, whether it, makes people kind of, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, sometimes education kind of takes a backseat to real life.
Right. I know it did for me.
Right.
And so what Randy's idea was to create this residential hall, and there was lots of study in this. This wasn't just like he had an idea. He actually followed research and studies and visited with psychologists and put together this program. And the At Last boarding experience, it doesn't replace the parents in the life. The parents are still just as involved with the kids' lives, and it's just that the kids during the school week live at the residential hall and have all of those resources available to them. And then on the weekend they go and they stay with their family. So built a state-of-the-art facility there in Oak Cliff. It's great. We were there for the ribbon cutting, the whole ticket broadcast from out there at the time. And it has been a success. The thing is, Randy didn't know. All the research said it would work. He thought it would work, and he was passionate about it. But the proof was going to be in the numbers.
Right.
And the numbers came back, and if he comes up here tonight, he can share the details of it. I can't remember the specifics, but all of the kids' grades jumped significantly. And it worked out. It was working for them, and it's a program that's growing. I know they built the one residential hall now, and there's room for more on the piece of land. And so that's why the Musers are really behind this. This is our chosen thing that we've all. That, of course, has the Special Olympics also with Dunham Miller Open. They support that as well, but we've really gotten behind this At Last sporting experience, and you have too.
And it's in the 75216, and that's my zip code. And that zip code, will have the most people around this area that's in prison right now. And it's something you don't think about as a kid, but just growing up in that environment. And, man, I am blessed to have grown up with both of my parents who stressed education. Like, there wasn't a parade when I graduated high school. It was expected. Like it would have been it would have been a funeral type if I didn't. That's just not even a lot of people go nuts when kids graduate high school and have these parties and they're getting cars and all that. Dude, I didn't get a thing because that's what you're supposed to do. Like there's no question about it. But just that environment I grew up in and, a few of my friends when I grew up and they had broken homes and, they may have fallen by the wayside. There was just one girl that I went to elementary school with, man, and she was the toast of the elementary school, the cutest girl in school. And, I guess, that doesn't affect anything. But now when I go back and visit my parents who still live in the same house I still grew up in, she's still just walking around the neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah. And, she'll maybe say, my dad tells me, like, he's outside working in the yard, and she walks by, and she will maybe curse under her breath or out loud or something, and she still apologizes to him or whatever. And he's just like, man, I can't believe she's still walking around the hood. But you just never know. It's such a thin line, man, between not even success, living and dying out where I grew up. And I was shielded from a lot of that by my parents, and I'm thankful for that. But people who lived across the street from me weren't shielded from that. And people I went to elementary school with weren't shielded from that. And just to have something like this available, I think you have to give big ups to those parents, realizing that they need to give their kid that advantage because, hey, man, because I think it takes some courage for a parent to say, I'm going to have my kid live somewhere else for the week and then come home on the weekends. Like, that's my kid. You mean to tell me that I'm not doing a good job with my kid can always be that excuse. But to realize that you may give your kid an advantage that 95% of the people around don't have and will maybe give him the leg up on getting out and making a success of themselves, then that takes courage from them. And it's all with everyone helping and realizing about this charity and knowing more about this charity so they can donate because, money rules the world and you have to raise money and have money for these things to work and give these kids the advantage. So that's why I know we're all happy to help. But that line, man, that's what gets me at times when you really think about it, is that there are a couple of instances in my life that I can go back and realize that if I would have done this or just gone down this road, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I could be in jail. I could be dead. And that's just the environment I grew up in. And I don't think that's like hyping it up. I really don't. Like the first day of high school, I had to walk to South Oak Cliff to catch the bus. And that's right where At Last is. And it's right in that neighborhood. So, I have my freshman year of high school clothes on, and I'm feeling pretty good, and we're walking to South Oak Cliff to catch the bus to go downtown to business. And we cut across on the street right by the school, and we don't see anyone, man. It's like a group of 4 of us walking. Only thing you hear is, y'all better run. And we're like, we're freshmen in high school. We don't have to worry about that. I'm not a kid anymore. We took 3 steps and hauled ass. we took directions right to the T. Like, man, we're not going to run. What is he talking about? Woo! And we took out and got on the bus sweaty and all that and all this stuff. And it was like, that's how it goes down. And that's what a lot of kids in that zip code and where I grew up kind of go through. So any advantage that they can get is worthwhile. And, that's why it's so near and dear to my heart, man, because I would think that my parents, if I were in the situation where I could do that, I think they would really, truly go for it and say, okay, you know what? I can understand that. I'll sacrifice my kid being here for the week and have him on the weekends if it's going to put him in that advantage to succeed education-wise, because that's where it starts, man. If you don't get that education, man, you are so behind the 8 ball just in life in general. And I've seen a lot of friends not make it because of it and not be satisfied with what they're doing because of it. And this is helping these kids out.
Yeah, and you're so right in the giving props to the parents that do this, because I can see how some parents may balk at this because they'd never heard this. I'd never heard of an idea like this until Randy started explaining it to me. And the parents understanding that, hey, we're here just as a tool for you. You're still the parent. You're still the captain of this ship.
As involved as you'll ever be.
As involved as you want to be and you'll ever be.
Right.
You still have that. We're just giving you the tools that people that live around Jerry Jones' house have.
Right.
We want to have tutors just like they have over there. We want to have a nice facility that has computers in it, just like they got over there. We're just leveling the playing field. That's all we're offering you. It's a level playing field.
And you think about boarding school, especially with the television shows that we grew up and watched. It was either you're a really bad kid and you were sent off to boarding school, or it was the Facts of Life boarding school.
Right.
Eastfield, right? Wasn't that the name of the school? Yeah. So just zero opportunities for kids that look like me that had an opportunity to do something like this. Not even thought of, not even heard of. Like I went to Oliver Wendell Holmes Middle School, and they had the regular school and the academy. And you had to apply to get into the academy, and I went to the academy. And it was almost like you were looked down upon in this school because you were in the academy, and it was like a budding rivalry in one school. Like, we're all in the same school. It's no big deal. And even with I went to Business Magnet High School, and everyone thinks, oh, you went to business. No, that's no big deal. It really isn't. But, just to get that some sort of advantage education-wise is just what some of these kids need. They just need that push, and that push is so important. I think Randy is texting us. He's here. Let me see.
Yeah, check that out. All right, so I'm going to tell people what's going on here. Donnie and I are covering his tournament. Is that Randy?
Yeah.
You got to go get him?
Yeah, I'm going to go run
All
down
right,
and
go get him. I'll sit here and chat. Figure out something to do. We're talking about Donnie's Domino tournament. The first round is – this thing is so loud. Y'all can hear that, right? Talking about Donnie's round one of his Domino tournament is going on. It started at 6. It's going to probably be going around until 9, so we're doing a little live stream just to talk about it and to raise awareness for At Last. Now, we have, as you can see on the screen, there is an area where you can donate on the At Last website. You can get there by going to the At Last site. We've put up the direct link right here on the page, atlast.kindful.com. And you can donate. You don't have to enter the Domino tournament, but you can just flat out donate to the cause that we're talking about here. It benefits the At Last boarding experience in Oak Cliff, and it's something that obviously you can hear we believe in and has meant a lot to us just watching it take shape, being there from the very beginning and the germination of the idea, and then seeing it come to fruition and get built. It's something that the Musers are so excited about and really honored to be a part of. So we got that, and I've got someone calling me. Hold on a second. We're doing, let's see, the link on the stream is incorrect. Need to remove one of the L's on kindful. Thank you for that. Okay, so let me do that. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to handle this text. And hopefully Donnie will be back here pretty soon. Let me get this done here. We'll see if that corrects it. Look at that. Boom. I think that's right now. I apologize to you. I didn't actually type that in here. That was set up by the good people here. This is a very awkward moment as I say, I didn't do it, blame it on someone else, and then thank the someone else because they came in and did a lot of work for us to even get this thing up and going. So I'd like to thank Alan from our promotions team who's been unbelievable here at the Ticket. That guy is more on top of it. You have people like this in your office that you don't have to prod a million times to get them to do stuff. People who are proactive, who actually don't try to pass it off to someone else when you ask them to do something. That's what Alan is. He's like the guy who doesn't pass things off. He gets things done. He's creative. He's a doer. I wish I was more like that. Anyway, so thanks to Alan for setting this up. And Alan and I did teamwork on it now because I took out the L. He did everything. And I just proofread it with the help from Huey, who runs my Discord. By the way, you can chat with us in the Discord. You can also chat with us here on Twitch as well. I think we have guests in studio. Oh, there we go. Mr. Bowman. Have a seat right over there, sir. We got the boss here. Let me figure out which mic that is. There it goes. It works. And so, yeah, you can donate. I just realized Huey, my guy, just texted me and told me that we had misspelled the website that we've been sending people to donate.
Oh, no.
But I got it corrected.
Okay.
I got it corrected.
Oh, no.
Okay, so let me see here, Donnie. See if you can pull your mic down and straighten it out where we can see Randy a little bit better.
I may have to
man, yeah, you may have to go up and then down.
Should I move or should I lower?
No,
let's see here. I'll frame it. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
All right, well,
that.
I like
that
this.
looks good.
Okay, okay.
We have
Now I
like
can
an
see Randy.
actual direction.
All right.
There you go.
This is
That's
great.
good.
This is
We'll
great.
make that work.
There we go. All right, yeah.
Are we good? yet?
Randy's
Yeah.
way prettier than I am, so we need
now.
we need to show him better than
Welcome,
him.
Randy Bowman.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you. Thank you guys for doing this. Y'all are great. You've always been great, so this doesn't surprise me. Thank you.
So we've been kind of bouncing around here a little bit, Randy, but we started talking about the impact of At Last to the kids in the 75216, man, because that's my zip, man. And I'm gonna always represent my hood, but just some of the lines that are so thin that you don't realize as a kid that if you go this one way, then your life is turned upside down. And sometimes it's a good way, sometimes it's a bad way. The majority of the time for the people that live in the 75216, that line you cross is definitely going in the bad way. And we all know that At Last is definitely trying to kind of stem that tide and give these kids and families the opportunity to put their kid on the right path to making sure that when they get to that line, because it's eventually going to come up for pretty much everyone that's living, that they make that right choice and go the right way because they've been, properly educated and knowing exactly how things are going.
Yeah, I am. If you don't mind, I'll start by
Sure.
thanking the P1s for all of their support. We haven't had a more consistent source of support than the tickets listeners. I'm still amazed at what you all are able to do with these listeners. I'm amazed at their generosity. I'm amazed by it all. So I just want to say thank you to them before I start with anything else. And yes, the notion of making sure that children have a fighting chance to make the good decision, to make the right turn, to do that thing is really, really important. And it gets really personal with me really quickly because you're 75216, I'm 75217. Those are the two zip codes that contribute the most people to the Texas prison system of any zip code in the state of Texas. So, I feel this program. I feel its necessity. My middle brother has spent 90% of his adult life in the state penitentiary. He slept 18 inches to the right of me when we were growing up. Right. He's a good dude who's done some wrong things, and he's accepted his accountability for it. And, I can't help but think if he had made one or two better decisions, the contribution he could have been making to society at this point, as opposed to needing to consume society's resources, having him confined and surveilled in the way that he is now. It's an amazing under-realization of human talent for him to be in that position. And I think of the heartache that it caused my mom and it caused our family and the disruption to the neighborhood. If we can take some of the kids who are in this program and spare some mothers that pain, spare them the pain of spending their life in that way, and then looking at the positive side of it, give them a different trajectory to where they are living the kind of life that'll be fulfilling to them, making contributions to the tax base, and really sort of advancing mankind. we have to have more people contributing to a positive outcomes. So that's one of the things that gives me energy. This is close to home for me.
I remember growing up, my mom would always tell me, in this mom speak, I don't get nobody out of jail. Those were her words to us growing up, me and my two sisters. Every 6 months or so, she would remind you that I don't go pick anyone up from jail.
Yeah.
So that take that advice as accordingly. And I was talking about this earlier, and I'm truly, truly blessed to have grown up with both of my parents. That stressed education. My entire family have educators. They have educators in my family. So this wasn't a choice about going to school or graduating high school. It was a given. If you didn't do it, then something was wrong. So I do realize that I know I had an advantage growing up there, but the environment around me the whole entire way could push you in places to where you didn't want to be. And sometimes you had a decision to do this or go there and do that, and you didn't do it. And while you're pissed at the moment because you have the worst parents in the world, then that decision that you made for not doing that probably saved you a lifetime of a lot of other things. So it's just those choices, and it's better to make some of those choices when you have your head about you. And that's exactly what At Last is all about, putting that notion into the kids, because it touches me that you're taking those kids from the elementary school that I went to. I could have been one of those kids.
Yes.
T.D. Marshall, I was there, K through 3. That's my school. And you go back to those elementary schools and you see those kids and you see a little big head boy with glasses walking or running around on the playground. And that was me,
Right,
that was me.
right.
So that just touches me so. And I was telling Gordon earlier that we hatched this at a Buzz Brew in Victory Plaza about how we wanted to do this and how we wanted this to go about.
Yes.
And I am amazed, again, like you said, how the P1s are so receptive and will get behind the things that we do, but not a single person I've run into and talked about this event and At Last about did not rave about the idea of At Last in that neighborhood doing exactly what it needs to do. So it just touches me, man, seriously, that this is going down, and I try to do my best, and we try to get as much as we can for this as possible.
Well, I'll tell you, number one, I've met your mom, and I think she meant it. She's not coming to get you.
Totally
Bro.
meant
It's
it.
not
There's
gonna
no
happen.
way.
She's not coming to get you. So that's thing one. The other thing that's probably worth thinking about for you is that every kid who enters that house every day, and we call them scholars in residence, every one of them who enters there every day enters off of Donovan Lewis Lane. Every one of them.
That's crazy. It's crazy
I
even
hope
wrap my
that
head
means.
around it.
I hope that means something to you.
It really does, man.
You know?
Seriously. Like I always joke when they say, you have a street named after you, and I'll say, I'll blink and you'll miss it. But seriously, it is an honor that I didn't even think would even come close to being bestowed upon me. That's great.
I
Well,
have a
thank the
laundry
P1s.
room, I think, named for me, don't I?
You do. You do.
I thought I saw a truck stop named after you.
No.
down
Seriously,
the way.
he does. He
okay.
has. He and George have a laundry within there. That
Oh, is
named
it?
after-
Is
Yeah,
that last?
yeah,
Oh, I'm
at
sorry. I
last.
thought you were
There's a little-
joking.
He's-
Okay.
he's not joking.
Is it in crayon that they have to keep going over?
Randy wrote it by hand on the door.
All right, that's not true. That's not true.
Hey.
The thing that really grabs your attention with this is you mentioned that folks really like the concept and say that's a really, really good idea. And I like the idea. I decided to commit my time and much of my life and my treasure to doing it. But the thing that's really gratifying is it's no longer just a good idea. It's now something that's been in operation for 3 semesters. And during each of those 3 semesters, it has met the goals that it had in terms of kids having improved educational outcomes. These kids have gotten better grades. And remember, we're not a school. We don't give them their grades. The schools they attend give them their grades. This is why the principals love us. This is why the teachers love us. And for the mothers, there's nothing like looking in a mom's eyes and seeing despair lessen and hope reappear. You want your children to be able to live a better life than you have them in at this point. if you're one of these mothers. And the mothers have been so great. And just to see the transformation that has come for them has been incredibly gratifying. So I love doing this. We will soon be doing it for more because success brings about the opportunity to scale. We'll be serving even more scholars and residents who will also enter on Donovan Lewis Lane. And we'll do it not
and
just
get
here,
their laundry done.
and they will
in
get
the
their
Gordon
laundry
Keith
done.
Memorial washing machine.
Gordon Keith dryer sheets. Nice
You too can
nice
smell like an
GK.
AM radio personality.
You can have your shirts wrinkled like an AM radio host.
Or maybe we won't have all those objectives, but yeah, I mean, some of this stuff we can do, man. It's gonna be great.
Oh my!
I'm
goodness.
excited about this. I am every day. I'm energized by this and by the kids.
So let's talk Dominoes for a second here.
Talk
because
Dominoes.
Dominoes is what we're here for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to it, Donovan has been doing this. This is the third.
Fourth.
This is the fourth.
Yes.
Fourth time, fourth year that we've done this. And this is we only got to do it in person 1 year. Is
First
that right?
year, yes.
Yes.
God
Hello,
almighty.
COVID. How are we?
I know, right?
I know.
It's one of those things. It's
Yep.
okay, though. It's okay. It's been incredibly successful because we're going to make this work no matter what format we do it in. It's just like at last. We are going to find success no matter where it hides. So this is working out. It's good.
And where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes.
And so we're doing it. This is the first round. And do we have any results yet? Do we know?
Boy, do we ever.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Okay, so I've been given this update. The bracket D champion is Dwayne Freeman, real P1. And I believe I play him often. And he can kick my butt.
He has
Oh,
an
really?
appetite
He's
for
good.
you, man. He has a real appetite for you. I'm gonna tell you now.
He's a really good player. Really, really good player. So I'll have my hands full playing him tomorrow with a blowout win over Silly Chili Willie. That's who he beat in the bracket D finals.
That sounds predictable.
Randy, do you play?
I do.
Are you playing in this at all?
I'm not. I think it's in bad taste
Okay.
for me to play in the tournament
Right.
that the organization is
Because you
putting
think you're
on.
going to win it or something?
Well, I feel pretty confident that I do well.
See, that's the great thing about dominoes. Everyone thinks.
Yeah, everyone thinks
they're
they're
the
great.
greatest one ever.
All right.
I'm a Grove boy. I've played some dominoes, man. I've played a
So
lot of dominoes.
are you really a good domino player? Like objectively, do you?
I am not as good as my Uncle Jake,
Okay.
but I'm better than a
Most
lot of
humans.
Folks. A lot of folks. But my Uncle Jake would kill me, and it wouldn't even be close.
So
Yeah,
did you
we all
grow
have
up
that
playing
uncle.
it a lot?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. There's no cost to playing the game of dominoes. So it winds up being entertainment that's very affordable. So
Right.
we played a lot
Right.
of dominoes.
And, you can help with your math skills, counting, and
Yes.
all that other stuff, and you don't realize that in a game like that. And once you're in it and you're realizing that you don't want to play slowly. That's the one thing that will get you talked about
Right.
the whole time. So you're trying to calculate quickly, and you're getting the numbers going in your head, and then you're trying to figure out what they have and all this other stuff. So it has the mind turning a ton while you're
Yes.
playing, all the while
Yes.
talking as much noise as you possibly can.
That's right.
Right.
It's a 7-layer dip that you're trying to get the chip through as you're trying to win a domino.
Well,
game.
we were talking about it earlier, Randy, before you got here. It's the fellowship surrounding dominoes. That's the nice word for it.
That is a nice word. For it. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's the trash talking and ball kicking that makes it so damn fun when you're playing dominoes with friends.
Yeah.
Things that get said. And we had hoped to bring part of that into this stream. We weren't able to do it this year. But
Next year,
is there any thought, like if we're able to do it in person, it will be a totally in-person thing, right?
if we're able to do it in person, then we will have a virtual bracket,
Okay.
and we'll have an in-person
So it'll be a hybrid.
bracket. Yeah, we'll do
those two
both.
things.
We'll do both, and it'll be. This was designed for us to do both.
Mm-hmm.
We were unable to do the in-person part, but so next year we expect to do both.
And it
It's
makes
so much fun.
I think it adds another layer especially in person when you play teams.
Yeah.
Because now Randy and I are playing against Gordon and someone else, and we are talking so much noise to you.
True.
And we're trying to figure out what you have. Like, I love the team aspect of it. There are a lot of people that love to play by themselves. They just have to worry about themselves. But, man, I contend that I can play with anybody and beat anybody else because you start getting it going. I think Gordon and I would contend in the domino tournament if I played with him.
Okay.
Because I can.
All right, so let's see that next year. I want to see that.
Yeah.
I can pull the strings a little bit to make everything work how I need it to work.
I'm telling you right now, this someone just commented on our chat on Twitch that there's a special place in hell for slow dominoes players.
Oh my God, that's
so
the
I can
truth.
tell you there is a special place in hell for me. 'Cause I will frustrate you. I'll be like, what? Hold on, I just can't figure it out. How many? What?
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on.
What is that? Has
And
that
then
already been played?
they're like, come on.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yelling, and it makes it even longer. So, yeah, whoever said that is correct. It's a special place in hell for very, very slow domino players.
But it's great entertainment.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
bring it. You and Donovan next year. I think we already have our first team.
Uh-huh.
Get you registered next week. It'll be fine.
We'd win.
And what?
we'd get close.
What about Moose? I thought Jubb was going to enter this. Did he not enter?
He was there the first year and played in person with his brother.
I remember
They
that.
quickly got eliminated.
Yeah.
But
They were showing the door quickly.
That was,
very quickly.
that was funny and fun.
Yeah, and every
Love
time
George. It was
I
great.
played Jubb in dominoes, it was a thorough dispatching
Uh-huh.
of Jubb. But
He'll be better next year. I got confidence in my man. He'll be better next
of
year.
of course.
Well, I'll go into training. I mean, I need to start playing everything. This is the app that everyone seems to use is Fly Clops. Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody's using that. So I need to go on there and just practice. I'm so out of practice. I'm telling you, I haven't played in like 5 years. It was the last time I even played. And
You're
I
a
think
smart guy.
I think I was playing like a 9-year-old at the time too. So I won.
All right, there you go. That's
I
all
had
that
that
matters.
going
I don't
for
care how
me.
old you are. Go
Right.
get your sippy cup and leave me alone. That's all
Yeah.
that matters. Yeah, I'm practicing my trash talking.
They had to forfeit because it was time to eat goldfish. Crackers.
They couldn't get the cheese dust was clouding the touchscreen. They couldn't get it done.
All right, so people can donate right now at last.kindful. There's one L at the end of kindful. That's the part
Did
that
you
we
have
had
those
to
kind
spell
full?
check.
Okay,
That's
Yeah.
okay.
We had kindful,
Well,
And
but kindful.com.
And-
At last.kindful.com, and people can donate right now to raise some extra money for this. if
and you
they
can also go if you want to buy those raffle tickets to theticket.com.
Yes.
Yes.
Theticket.com has a link to that, and that's an important thing to do.
It is.
Because Donovan and I were talking earlier about what a dependable vehicle means to a family
oh,
is, and that's I think a lot of people really don't appreciate that. Like a lot of people wonder, well, why are people buying $500 cars that only work for 3 months and then well, it's because that's all you can afford.
Yep.
You can only afford to buy a car that's about to break down, and then you're in the same hole that you're in now. You're in 3 months from now. It's a cycle, and you can't get out of it. You can't get, and so to have dependable transportation for a family is absolutely life-changing.
Life-changing indeed. And, yeah, you'll see that, and you're just trying to squeeze as much as you can out of that vehicle until you're going to have to try to find another one. So if that's how you want to donate, and, hey, a lot
Or
of
if you want the vehicle.
right, that's what I was just about
totally
to say.
fine,
Hey,
too.
there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Go
Yeah.
and buy 1, 2, 5, 10, 20. Buy those raffle tickets and see if you can get that car for yourself because it's a dang fine car. Don Herring Mitsubishi. It's the 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. And one of the great things about it that if you win that car, there's no winner's tax. I can remember watching Price is Right, and every time you saw the car, everybody would just go
goes crazy, and then they get
until-
handed a $2,000 bill at the end of it.
Maybe $5,000 or something. Like, wait a minute. So, no winner's tax whatsoever. You just get the keys. Last year's champion, we went out, and when we gave him the car, we jumped in the air as Randy took the picture and freeze frame like chips. And it was
Yeah.
great. And we'll do that again. And
was
and
good.
you
That
just
was
hand the keys and you drive off. So win it for yourself. Win it for an impoverished family. Do whatever you need to do. But we would love for everyone to go to theticket.com, press one of those buttons, and donate and buy those raffle tickets. And we'll have up until about 2 o'clock tomorrow to sell as many tickets as we possibly can. And then we will draw for the car around 3 o'clock. And then this domino tournament will be over for another year. So we're looking forward to this. We're trying to sell a lot of tickets tonight and tomorrow so we can have a really, really cool, good, big number to give to everyone as far as donations for At Last for the whole entire tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So with regard to this car or to the SUV, number one, Ruben Mosley has been great. the Governor Don Herring. He's been great.
I went to college with Ruben.
Yeah, he told me. He has
Yeah.
stories about you.
He's in the RTV department also, so we had a few classes together.
I
Yeah,
give
he's
those
great.
to Gordon, and Gordon can
He's
decide
great.
whether he wants to bring them to the air. So that's what I'll do. Every family who's in this program would benefit from winning this vehicle. And it does transform your life when you get this new vehicle. Murdoch, like 75 Murdoch, which was the bus that ran through Pleasant Grove, was our family vehicle. It was the only reliable vehicle that we had. And for the moms who are in this program, their transportation is a real challenge, and it's really hard for them to get to a job interview or to anything else that's vital for their life. So the chance for them to win this would be great. But I agree with you. It would also be great if any of the listeners want to get new transportation for themselves. Like, I really don't have a preference for the motivation for you buying the ticket. That money is still going to benefit our ability to educate these kids and get them to a better future. So whatever you can do would be great. Buying them at the ticket website is absolutely fine. You don't have to fish around and look for hours. Just go to the ticket website. It'll be great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I think, did I buy some raffle tickets this year? I can't remember, Randy. I don't know whether it was last year or this year. I remember I bought
here's
some and donated them anonymously, and I didn't want any credit for it, but I did purchase quite a few.
But you don't want any credit for it, though,
No
right?
credit.
Yeah, no,
My
no.
treasures are in heaven. I do not want credit here.
I've never seen anyone shrink from credit the way that Gordon does.
Right,
It's
right.
admirable.
He just never wants anyone to know anything.
And Gordon, here's what I can tell you.
Okay.
Whenever we are on air, the answer to that question is, of course you did.
Okay, yeah.
You're incredibly generous, and I so appreciate it.
But off the air, have I forgotten to do it this year?
I just think we should catch up off there and talk about it.
Okay, all right. So I do need to do it.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. See, Randy knows how I work. I've known Randy for a long time, and he's been involved in my business for a while, and he knows that I am the least type A, most forgetful person. Don't depend on me for doing the clerical background work to make things happen.
And
So,
keep reminding me.
Keep
And
reminding
you know
me.
what? And that's why I tell everyone, I'm not offended if you remind me 12 times of what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
Because I need it. I'll
I'm
go,
the worst.
Oh, okay, great. I'm glad you reminded me. I'm not going to get upset at all.
He once thought I was joking when George reminded me that we were on vacation for 2 days. Was it last week? I think it was.
Yeah, it was last week. Yeah.
Wednesday was our last day, and I had no idea. He said, "Don't forget, we're not working tomorrow and Friday."
That
I didn't
doesn't
know
surprise me
that.
the
And you went,
slightest.
See,
okay.
it's just I don't know. My brain does not it does not retain information.
No, but you are brilliant at many other things.
Yes, I
And
have to.
brilliant at being a good friend.
Oh well, thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Remember that I'm brilliant at being a good friend.
But you don't want to take the credit
And
for that
extremely
either.
He wants
right?
no
Yeah.
credit
Yeah,
for
no
that.
credit for
no
that at all.
credit
He
whatsoever.
regrets that I said.
None. But if you would like to get no credit for being a good person, go to atlast.kindful.com or go to the ticket website. You can buy these raffle tickets for the vehicle, and also you can just donate money. And we will have many other opportunities to support At Last, because something that you and I have been talking about for quite a while, Randy, and I'm finally trying to get this going. It's been absolute heck trying to jump through all the hoops that I need to. But I've started a Twitch channel, as you guys know, and I'm trying to start doing that regularly. And I've taken a couple months off here while I've been trying to build up the back end of what I want to do with this, which is that I'm starting to have subscriptions on my Twitch channel. We're going to start doing interviews and lots of crazy stuff we're going to be doing on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to have a subscription program, and the subscription will get you various things like merchandise, and it'll get you access to past shows, all of that. But the big thing is that a big percentage of the proceeds from those subscriptions is going to be benefiting At Last. And I wanted to do the Twitch channel in, association with what At Last is doing. And so that's why all these people were mad at me for why aren't you leaving your videos up and all that. And well, the idea was that we were trying to have added value to get people to subscribe, where we could then support At Last with the proceeds from our Twitch channel. So this is a good time to announce that, since we're here on the air with Randy Bowman himself.
Yeah, it's a great time for you to announce it to me. That is a shock.
Yes.
And see, this is what Gordon does, right? He'll do something really great for you, but he won't tell you until he's actually doing it, right? And then you get to sit there and look like an idiot because you don't have a proper response.
Yeah, I had to
Thank you.
I had to figure out how to get the thing where people could subscribe and do all that, and there would be some sort of revenue stream that I then could direct towards at last. But I've been obviously very blessed to have a public job and work at the greatest station going. I mean, the Ticket is such a special place. We all know that. We all appreciate it. Randy, you've known the guys at the Ticket for forever, and management of the Ticket. You know this place very well. And part of the responsibility that comes with the great blessings is trying to do something with your public stature. And everyone at the station has been so good about doing that. Donnie has his Domino Classic. Dunham and Miller have the Dunham and Miller Open. What is Bob does the pants?
Drop your pants.
Drop your pants for charity, which is a little
Bob.
uncomfortable, but very Ticket. But one of the things that I'd like to do is to have a platform like Twitch that can raise money that goes to something like At Last. And so that's what we're doing. And I believe tonight is the first time we've had the subscription thing on since I've been streaming. The first ones I didn't have that, and now it's on there. So right now we're live on the.
See, this is why the guys at the Ticket are like my favorite people, because you're incredibly talented at what you do. You're really good. You don't need me to tell you that. The market has validated it. And then you look for ways to turn that into something better for other folks. I've spent a lot of time representing people in the earlier part of my career, and they were very talented people. They didn't always want to use their talents to benefit broader mankind. They wanted to use their talents for the things they wanted to, which is fine. So I love the fact that this is who you all are. I love the fact that you want to do this. I love the fact that you have listeners who say, we like people who want to do that. We want to engage with them and support it. So I feel just uniquely blessed to know you guys and to have At Last benefit from this. So thank you, Gordon.
Well, yes, and keep after me to keep doing Twitch streams where we can keep bringing in revenue for you. Because that's what I wanted to do is create something that was just more regular. If I'm doing regular Twitch streams, that's a regular revenue source that can go to At Last. And having a subscription monthly basis is a way to kind of automate that process.
I bet your listeners have a lot of ideas about what you can do with this that would make it interesting to them.
Oh, yeah, believe me.
I'm sure they will share them with you because they often do.
Yes, they will. We have the most creative listeners in the world, too, who love to see us do uncomfortable things. So no telling what I'll be doing on there.
I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, I'll be Twitch streaming shirtless for your organization.
Okay.
You're going to Twitch stream shirtless for children. I think that's
children.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I think that's great.
How uncomfortable is that? All right, so do we have – how long is the tournament going tonight, Donnie?
We should be close to wrapping that thing up, right, Randy?
I think so.
All right, so we have another update. I know Clark Wilson, 96. He was awaiting the winner of El Chaz and Eddie 1311. That was in bracket F. So the bracket C champion is David Whaley, OOD. And I've played OOD before, and I have my hands full with OOD, let me tell you. The bracket E championship is New Math 06, which sounds like one of my frat brothers, facing off against Hen D. That's for the bracket E championship. And bracket A championship belongs to Sal H13, who beat Michelle in Dallas for the bracket A championship. And I believe I played Michelle in Dallas also, who is a worthy opponent. So it's coming around nicely. Now they have to line up and tussle with the king tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they better get their rest because these games in the
Did Sean enter? Do we know if Sean did? My bowling partner, Sean?
I don't know. I don't know if he plays dominoes or not. He looks like he can, but so he better get in it next time. He may want to wait until we get in person so he can, smack him down or whatever. But these games in the first round were to 100. But when you play me tomorrow, we go to 150 to see who's the king. Because I like
confidence.
I like a little
Look at
patience
this.
in my game. I have strategy when it comes to things
Very
like
Mike
that.
Tyson profile you're taking on.
There's an option on the app where you can play the 250, and that I kind of like that option too because you can go up by 70 points and think you have this game won, and then you hear me coming back. Oh, here I come. Here they come. Here he comes.
What's
Here
your
it
handle
comes.
on that app? It's
God
like
bless.
something offensive. Is it Big D Energy or something?
No, why would you think I'd have a handle like that?
Hey, Donovan. I mean,
I am strictly only Donnie Do.
okay.
That's it. And I'm gonna have because I don't want you guys to think I'm making this up. I've played so many games on this thing, and it keeps up with your record. And I'm gonna hand this phone to Randy so he can say what my overall wins and losses record is on this Domino app. So there you go, Randy. You
Does
can
it
go
say
ahead
who
and
your
say
opponents
that.
are? So
You
that we
don't
can
worry
know
about all that.
Quality
you
of
just,
schedule.
You
Okay,
just
just
say
read the numbers. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't matter. Wins, losses. Go, Randy. What does that say?
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Just don't go over to his photo roll and see what he's taking pictures
Please
of.
don't.
Yeah, it's a different record. You've played this 15,000 times?
Don't worry about that. Just
Holy
say the record.
mackerel.
I told you I play all the
I won't
time.
worry about it. I won't worry about it. 64% wins, 36% losses.
That's pretty good.
But you've played 15,000 times.
How many wins? Say the total number of wins over this streak.
9,570.
How
I'm going
much?
to call Twig tonight.
That
This is
that
not right.
that's a lot of time spent away from your family playing
No, I'm sitting right next to
online.
her.
What's
Yeah, but
Twig's
you should be
record?
talking to her.
Oh, I can talk and play dominoes at the same
Okay,
time.
all right.
Come on now.
That's impressive that
Thank you.
played that.
And that I've
Right.
won that many games. That's pretty impressive also.
Well, I mean, it's 64%.
What would you
I
think
mean,
your percent
it's
is,
not-
Randy?
That's
What do you-
not great.
That's great.
What do you think
in
your percentage
dominoes?
is? If you were to guess your winning percentage.
So, like, over my career playing domino?
Yeah.
Don't say it.
I mean, are you
Don't-
on that app?
don't
Is that the
even
one you
do it.
use?
I'm not on that app.
Don't
I-
even
I,
do
You
it.
play in person.
I like to see the pain in his eyes.
Don't even do it.
I can
I
see
can
that on
I
the
can
app.
see it building up right now.
Like
I'll
in
probably
Twig
win
Stream,
about
In
80.
Twig Stream next year when we sing,
Yeah.
well, then that would be good for me because I could see the fear in
Yeah,
his eyes. That's
he
what I
he
would
likes
see.
to see pain and fear in his
Yeah,
opponent's
that's-
eyes.
yeah. But in a competition.
85% of the time.
Well, I know
Is that your fake Randy?
yeah, that's not
I don't like this fake Randy at all. I don't like it at all. It doesn't compliment me in the slightest. But you seem to be enjoying it. So I get it. Oh, man,
He
it's
doesn't have a
horrible.
gravelly voice. It's more of just a calm voice.
Oh, hey, Randy. How are
Hey,
you?
how are you?
Okay. I got
I don't know that the world has a lot of tolerance for one of me,
Ooh.
let alone three. Right? I think my winning percentage is probably like 75%.
I knew it. I know.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
You can ask
Yeah.
every domino player the
Yeah.
same thing.
I'm at least 75%.
Oh, my God.
And if it weren't for my Uncle Jake, I'd be a lot higher.
No. That's
All right. I
So
bet you, though,
ridiculous.
Donnie, if you did not have access to the metrics there, that you would probably guess that you won 75%.
no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, at
No
least.
doubt about it.
At least he thinks the numbers are wrong in this thing.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
there was
yeah.
a couple of times where if you wait long enough,
thinks
you're
then
still
ironing
the
out-
games will forfeit. So
Here we
they-
go.
They count as losses.
Here we
So,
go. He's cleaning it up.
Yeah.
Here
so
we
it's
go.
Probably more. It's probably more about 77%. Just more than you. I know that much. Whatever percentage you say, it's going to be more.
The number that I made up, your made up number is better.
That's right.
All right.
It's going to always.
All right,
be
that makes
better.
sense.
Just to clarify, some people on chat are asking, no, it's Randy Bowman, not Randy Cody. This is not the
Oh.
Randy Cody, the
Oh.
builder.
I would-
Oh,
Randy Bowman.
this is
Norm, does Norm play dominoes?
That's rough.
Somebody wanted to know that.
I don't know. But I tell you what, though, the most intimidated in dominoes I've been, Gordon. I don't know if you were with us at that particular time or not. It was when we went to the Super Bowl in Miami,
Mm-hmm.
and they have the Domino Park out there. And when you walk up, there are dominoes that's in the, I guess I'm trying to think of the word to say, but like in the gravel, when you walk up, they have the images of dominoes as you walk up. Those guys are around those tables,
Mm-hmm.
and they are talking cash money.
Mm.
Let me tell you.
And that's like an ongoing domino game that's always, it's kind of like chess at Washington Square
Right,
Park.
that's exactly right in that park, but they play with the double nines.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Oh, yeah.
just
That's a
too
different
many
game.
dots for me. Yeah, that's a way different ball game.
So, Randy, you sound like you're familiar with double nines. How do you play that?
I don't because I don't enjoy it.
Okay.
it's
Like
the-
I was
You're
raised
fives, right? You
playing
play
the other
fives.
game.
well,
Yeah.
double sixes is what we call regular dominoes because
Right.
big six is the biggest
Right.
domino.
Right.
Double nines is the biggest domino is big nine.
Right.
So you play it just like the regular game, but you want to talk about
So you
too
still
many
play fives,
dots.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
too much to add
so
up.
many dots that I can't even calculate or formulate my mind around playing that.
I didn't know
on
that
any
game
regular
existed.
basis. Yeah, I didn't either. I don't know how I first found out, but I started trying to play it because there is a Domino app that will have nines, but I don't know which one it is. And I tried to play that, and it's overwhelming, especially when you've been playing, with double sixes your whole entire
It's
life.
not as much fun. I can't talk noise and learn a new game at
Mhm.
the same time.
Right.
So it's not as fulfilling. I don't want to play.
You will get me to a point where I won't shut up, and it's very annoying when I'm playing.
Great.
It's a whole different me because I don't care, whatever. Let's just have fun. But just on a domino table, it's a me that I don't know that a lot of people enjoy.
Do you play against Twig?
No,
Does she play at all?
she will,
That's
but
not her
she's
thing.
pretty slow,
Mm.
and then she'll get uninterested faster than you.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I'll get mad because she'll just kind of throw one out. Especially if we're going to play together and then she plays the wrong move when she knows she shouldn't, then I will get very upset.
And then you'll say something, and before you know it, you're in upper decker land.
And-
Is that how this unfolds?
Yeah, then I'm just,
Okay, I get it.
I am
I
in
get it.
trouble, and I refuse to get in trouble over a game. I get in trouble for so much other stuff
Yeah.
that there's no need to have dominoes the source of angst between us two.
So what other games are there? I mean, like I told you, I have only ever played fives. I mean, that's the only game. I thought that's all you played in Dominoes.
I did too. Like, I know there's 42, and a lot of people, I think that's the other variation of dominoes that a lot of people will play, but I've never played it. I don't think I've ever seen it, so I don't know how it goes. I've
Randy,
heard,
do you play? Do you know any of the other games?
No, I'm not interested in any of them.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. I found the game of domino that I like, and that's the one that I play. That's the one that holds on my memories with my family. That's what I do. That's what I play.
and I've also heard chicken foot, but I've never
Yes,
seen
I've heard
it.
of that too.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah.
Now, my grandparents used to play that with my parents. You know, when I was telling you the story when I was a kid, and they'd all be in the kitchen playing. They would also play that sometimes. I don't know what that is.
I don't think I've ever seen it in person, so I don't know. I'm curious to see what it's about. But yeah, that's fives is like Randy said. That's all the memories, and that's all we played. So that's how we get down. I was in a about maybe 3 years out of college. One of my fraternity brothers who lived out of town came down, and we were entered in a domino tournament. And it's a lot of older gentlemen. We were definitely the youngest ones there. And we made it to the championship without losing a game. Double elimination. Made it to the championship.
Okay.
Couple older gentlemen, and we're shaking the dominoes up at the beginning of the game. And he's talking to my friend. And he said, man, I just don't like it when the young people will slam dominoes all the time. You know, you just play civil. We can just play. And my buddy was like, hey, man, I totally get it. I understand. That's exactly how I play. He pulled big six. My buddy pulled 6-3 and almost broke the table. He almost broke the table, slamming the dominoes so hard that they all just jumped up off the table. We won that game so quickly. We grabbed the trophy, grabbed the check, didn't say a word to each other, got in the car, drove off, and we got to the stop sign. We looked at each other and laughed the whole entire time on the way home. It was one of the greatest moments of my entire life.
Veteran made a rookie mistake. He told you his vulnerability. And because you have no respect for the elderly, you took advantage
It
of
was
it.
so great.
And you killed him.
Off the top, big 6-6-3, and he tried to break the table. It was so great.
M Lane says on our Twitch chat, 42 is my Dominoes game. When you go to A&M, it's basically a requirement to learn. Played a lot down in A&M.
Okay.
Justin Montemayor says 42 is retired. Indeed.
Oh, it really
that's a good
is.
point.
That's right.
Indeed.
That's right.
That's a good
We
point.
can't play that game anymore.
Someone said that Norm played chicken foot when chickens look like the small dinos from Jurassic Park. Okay. He's not that old.
Close.
Yeah.
But not that old, no.
Let's see. I'm trying to see what else, if
Unkind.
anything is interesting here. Y'all hear this? Listen.
I can hear it. But
Something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you guys
we
too?
can hear it. It's definitely being heard.
I'm noticing it now. Yeah.
I don't know if that's coming through on the Twitch stream or not.
Probably not.
Sounds pretty loud in the room right here.
That's
Okay,
amazing.
I'm trying to see if there's anybody else saying anything of note. They asked our thoughts on Chickenfoot. We already said we don't know anything about it. We don't understand it. Do you guys know where dominoes were invented? Like the origin of dominoes?
I do not, but I'd be interested to know.
Well, my grandfather said he invented Big Six.
Yeah, your
so
grandfather
probably
was
not
lying.
I believe him.
This is news to
You
you,
shouldn't.
but he was lying.
I can't believe you're calling my dead
Was
grandfather
your
a liar.
grandfather
It is
Chinese?
aggressive.
I
in
mean,
the-
he was very fair-skinned, so
in the
you just don't know.
12th century.
I mean, he was old, too.
Back
yeah.
when Norm was in elementary school.
Right, he was old. When my wife first came to our first Thanksgiving with my family, I think that was had to be 93. Sat at the table, we're about to eat. She looked at me square in my face and said, "Who's the white man at the front of the table?"
Oh, twig.
And I was like, and I didn't even pay attention. I just kept going. And she nudged me like, "You heard me. Who was the white man in front of the table?" I looked like, "That's my grandfather." What are you talking about? He's not white. She kind of started digging into the cranberry sauce a little more. Because my grandmother was a domestic. She cleaned houses. And she cleaned big houses in Highland Park. She thought maybe my grandmother was creeping around and maybe invited one of the homeowners over for Thanksgiving dinner. It was really funny. It's like she was dead serious.
That was a younger twig, a less refined twig. Let's give her some grace. She's
I have to
good.
find
She's
a
good
picture
people.
of him. He was very fair-skinned, but I was like, what are you talking about? That's my grandfather.
That's
The
a rough
heck?
one.
I actually brought a show and tell item.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's not that exciting, but when my last living grandparent, my grandmother, came to live with my mom and dad, we took care of her the last couple of years of her life. But one of the things that I wanted from her estate was the dominoes that we played all throughout my childhood.
Right.
That I cannot tell you how many hours my grandparents and my parents put on these dominoes in my grandmother's kitchen. That's the one right there.
That's
Right
great.
there.
That's great.
So,
You can see that.
That's a sturdy pack.
A sturdy pack.
A question for the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Any of them taped together? Any of them broken?
No. What is that? Is that part of? Does that happen?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Taped up.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
because-
Because they break?
Because you
Yes.
slam them. You slam them and they break, and then you'll have
Yes.
to rotate it because you know what domino is broken. So now now it's your turn to get a big four because it's broken. Now it's your
Right.
turn. You have to rotate it until you get a new set of dominoes.
Yes.
I'm actually surprised that we didn't have one like that because my grandparents, they never would buy anything new. These lasted. None of these ever broke.
Were they slamming dominoes?
No,
or
they
just-
didn't slam.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
For the culture.
yeah.
For the culture.
That's
I
why
mean,
it had to
you-
be asked.
hands
It had to be asked.
bruised.
Once again, where the white person is left out of the experience. So.
Many a times, and you would think it would bring the game to an end
Uh-huh.
when somebody gets that special, just boom, and the domino snaps, and you go, "Oh man, where's the tape?"
Yeah, get the tape.
Tape it up.
So
and you have to
how many
rotate it.
times have you seen a fight break out in dominoes? Does that ever happen?
Oh yeah,
Like an argument?
Yes.
arguments that's a given because
Mhm.
you're talking noise, and some people may take it a little personally, maybe
Mhm.
so, but an actual fight, I think I've seen only once. It's like, what are you doing?
Mhm.
We're playing dominoes here. Come on.
Were you involved in the fight or you
No,
just saw
no,
it?
no. I just saw it. I don't fight, man. Winners don't fight. Winners don't
Well,
have to.
What about you, Randy?
Wow.
Ever seen a domino argument turn into a fight? Anyway?
I've seen a lot, Gordon.
Yeah,
I've
Randy
seen a
has seen a lot. He has seen a lot. I'm interested in hearing Donnie's fight experience because I know Randy has scrapped a little bit in his day, but you don't strike me as a guy. You seem to be a good diffuser.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. No, the last fight I had was 7th grade.
You got bubble throat there.
And I lost.
Oh,
Did
no.
you?
Oh, yeah.
How many punches were thrown? Was it over quickly or was it protracted?
Very quickly. It was probably like 4 punches, and I think I was the recipient of all 4.
Oh, no.
And I realized, you know what? Fighting's not for me. I can tell you the exact thing that happened, too. I was in middle school, and there were twins in the band. And for some reason, I thought I was funny and started talking about one of the twins. And his brother didn't take too kindly to it. And it was a 4-piece and a pepper. I was down, and that was it. I decided right there, you know what? Fighting's not for me. Let's make everyone laugh. So that was the end of my fighting career, and I haven't had one since.
You would think I've been in a lot of fights because I annoyed people so much, and I have been in a lot of skirmishes. Like you're one of the ticket. You're one or two of the ticket. I mean, like I think George threw me up against a wall one time because I had a telescoping antenna that had broken off of something, and I ran it up the backside of his shorts while he was trying to record a spot one time. And then he threw me up against the wall. Craig and I got into a fight over a CD once. They came and dropped off a bunch of free CDs, and so we were going through
got into a fight with Junes?
Yeah, with Junes. And, well, I mean, it wasn't like this is what the fight entailed, Randy.
Okay,
it was basically we both wanted the CD. He ended up with it. And then I was still, jawing at him about having it, and he got pissed, and I think he threw it at me, and I think it shattered inside Chuck Cooperstein's cubicle, who was working with us at the time.
Okay.
So that was my conflict with him. There was a promotions guy named Michael Maroney who we battled over some concert tickets, some free concert tickets we had, and that one ended up on the floor. We were grappling for the tickets.
Okay.
That was probably the most physical one.
All in the workplace. Okay.
All in the workplace. And then there was one time where Mark Followill, the voice of the Mavericks, lanced me with an umbrella.
Oh.
I was sitting there, I don't know what I was saying to him, but he was laughing along. He was holding an umbrella, and he's laughing at the jokes that were at his expense. And then all of a sudden his face just turned, and he just and he charged me like freaking Braveheart with an umbrella.
Like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it was
or
Game of
something?
Thrones. It was like, he
yeah.
almost dehorsed me with his big lance.
The closest I've come to a fight recently, surprisingly, is Soroy. And it almost came to fisticuffs. It was before I started working on the show. But we were playing ticket basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how it happened or whatever, but it got to a lot of F-U. No. F-U.
Yeah, the correction.
Right,
You
right.
had it wrong there.
No,
Your content was right with the F-U. It was the wrong direction.
I think you are mistaken. F-U.
F-U is the proper
And
word.
then it boiled outside, and then I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm grown.
Yeah.
I want to fight this dude who probably gets so enraged that he will pick me up, ball me up, and swallow me like a whale or something.
Yeah, because he's got that. Where is he from?
Florida.
No. Before that, those Eastern Europeans.
Oh, Lithuania.
Yeah. I don't. They scare me.
I mean,
they scare me.
That was and then I quickly came to mind to say, you know what? This is probably not the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
And then we wound up being best friends. Like,
Right.
it's almost how it usually goes down like that. You have the one conflict.
Yeah,
and
when you have a
realize-
conflict with someone, it seems like you're much more apt to feel close to them afterwards because you don't want them to be your enemy, and you're like bond over that trauma that you had of having the big blow up with them.
It was close, and even everyone that was there said, man, I thought you guys were really about to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I did too.
What were you mad about?
I don't even remember. I don't know. I wish I knew that it almost came to, and it's not like we're, neither one of us are Jordan or Pippen or anything. It's not like, it wasn't something that occurred in the game where I'm about to dunk and he pushes me. I don't know what it was, but it was quickly diffused, and then now look at us.
Have you talked about it?
I don't even think we talked about it afterwards. Or maybe it's like, dude, what were we doing? And, just kind of shook hands, gave each other a bro hug, and went about our business. But it was before I started working on the show. And then once we started working on the show, we're inseparable, like Pete Rose's sister said. But, yeah, it was nuts. But that's my fighting experience. I don't want to hear about Randy's because,
Yeah, Randy
like
has,
I said, he's the one person that I know. I may even know a couple other people that I will take on Jeopardy and then take down the alley. Both. You're in the first round of both of those drafts.
But I bet you it's been so long.
A compliment either.
No, that's a great compliment.
Okay.
It's a great compliment.
When was the last time you got in any sort of physical interaction, though, Randy? That's got to be since you were a teenager.
Oh, there's absolutely no way I'm answering that. There's absolutely no way. Because Jill would hear this, my wife would hear this, and she can tick them off like nobody.
Really?
Yes.
But you seem so slow to anger ever since
I
I've
am.
known you.
I am. I don't get mad quickly.
So, all right, will you at least tell us, like, have you ever gotten, like, annoyed with a dude in a restaurant? This is since you've been an adult and married and have kids and all that kind of stuff, and seen that conflict escalate with some stranger, let's say?
In a
Not
restaurant?
yeah,
Oh.
or just out in public or anything like that? Like, are you the guy who will confront someone in public if he's doing something that's annoying other people or mistreating someone?
Well, if someone's being mistreated, then I may visit with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can just hear the calmness in his voice.
See, that's the thing.
Even
I think
visiting them,
I think
yeah.
you also are now such a diffuser and so calm-headed. I just can't imagine you getting in any conflict with
I've
someone.
never been a guy who started a fight.
Uh-huh.
That's just not who I am.
But you finished a few.
I've been involved in my fair share, but I'm not the guy who starts a fight. That's not my composition. It's not my mentality. I'm not that guy,
Mhm.
you know. But I don't allow people to victimize me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really sort of that. And the last time that I got into a conflict with someone, it was with someone from your home state, sir.
Oh, from Mississippi?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. That's a good lunchtime conversation for us. to
Oh,
have.
okay. Huh, I got something to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over
Search your
lunch.
family tree and see how this works out.
Yeah, somebody brought up, that Soroy has the double whammy, the Lithuanian and from Florida.
Yeah.
is quite a combination.
And I think
there.
all that was going through my head once I was talking to him about what was effing happening
Okay.
at the effing gym.
When
That's
was the
great.
last time you guys think that Norm was in a physical fight with someone? Because that's an interesting case because Norm gets in a lot of conflicts with people. I mean, he's a conflict-oriented person, whether it's, customer service or
Right.
whatever. At every hotel we've ever checked in, he's got some conflict going on with the front desk.
I think my favorite story of his is like putting a hammer to a printer or something and sending it back because it didn't work.
Yeah, did you
Like,
hear about
can
this,
tell
Randy?
He gets, yeah.
Oh.
It's an amazing story. I was calling, trying to get them, hey, this is not working, trying to get this fixed or whatever, and they didn't do anything. So he ravaged that printer, boxed it up in pieces,
Paid to mail it back.
and sent it back
So, that's a power move.
because he wants to get his point across. Like, you spent the money. You
Yeah.
didn't even get your money back from the printer or anything, but that's the message sent. Because his famous line one
brilliant.
time was, sometimes it just feels good to yell at him. Sometimes you just got to yell at him.
Okay.
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 You do what you've got to do,
So I have another question, Gordon. This one is for you
Yes, sir.
with regard to Norm getting into fights or skirmishes,
Okay.
as you like to categorize.
Yeah.
How long was Norm here before you and Norm
Got
had
into it.
dust up? Yeah.
One day. Swear to God. It was like the first day that he joined the ticket and we were handing off to him.
One day?
Yeah, I hope I got the timeline right. Some P1s may be able to correct me on this, but we addressed it. It was like, people knew that Norm had taken shots at us and that we had taken shots at him because he was our rival. We're on at the same time slot. He was on an opposing station, and we were competing for the same listeners. And so we won that battle for the listeners. And then so Norm
That
came
was
over
gracious.
and joined the ticket team. And so here you have your competitor joining and becoming your teammate. And we thought that it was probably best if we just addressed the conflict
Oh,
right off the bat.
Okay.
And I don't know that it was so much of a bearing of the hatchet. Well, it was a bearing of the hatchet into each other's skull. That's what it was. It was. I think we talked about the JFK Jr. stuff, and because Randy had been on the air on 570 calling for me to be fired. We were owned by the same people.
Okay.
It was a situation where our company owned his station and our station when he was opposite of us. And he called on our bosses, our shared bosses, to fire me, that I needed to be fired. And so next thing you know, I'm handing off to him, and we got into it. Day one.
It's amazing, though.
One day.
One day.
The dynamic, how it flipped, because when the ticket first started, and I was at KLIF at the time, how I felt like those guys who had been established for a long time are kind of patting you guys on the head a little. Not worried at all. And
Right.
usually if you're the big dogs around, you're not worried about a little competition that's coming around. That's fine. We've seen people come and go. It's no big deal. And how the ticket grew and grew and grew, and I was still at KLIF at the time, and how the worry kind of started creeping in to everyone upstairs.
Mhm.
And then now all of a sudden we're teammates because they came and bought it. It was a really, really strange dynamic when it first happened. KLIF gave me my first shot at being in radio, so I was cool being there and all that, but it's almost like they wanted everyone to talk badly about the tick, and I was like, I'm not talking badly about those dudes. I love listening to those cats. Like, they're funny and all this. So it was weird being on the outside looking in at first. And I almost felt that way. Oh, you speaking of conflict, Randy, you don't know this one. So I was at Bone. Yeah. I was at 93.3 for 4 years.
Okay.
And we had studios right next to the ticket, and I was working on the morning show. And the guy that I was working with went outside maybe to, use the bathroom, get a drink. I have no idea. But they had the ticket on the speakers in the hallway. And he came back in the studio, and he was in a tizzy. And I was like, what, man? What's going on? And he had a couple of choice words, and then he said he heard Gordon say that he was over there next door killing ratings.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So he was.
You're not an ideal peacemaker.
Dude, he was
really not.
He was pissed. So he started getting up the courage to go over there and say something because he was mad. So he finally bust out of the freaking studio. He was gone for 45 seconds. Came back. It's like, and he was kind of like smiling a little bit at what he did. And then about a minute later,
talking about Humble Billy for those who may not remember
Sorry.
him.
Junior walks into our studio. He's pissed.
Okay.
And Humble went over there, kicked the door in, flipped him off, and then just came back out.
Yeah, that's what happened. So we were in the middle of a live spot, Randy, and there Donovan and Humble Billy's studio was right across the way from us, and Humble Billy came in during a live spot and walked in the studio. Door shuts behind him, and he just double birds Junior and all of us.
That's great.
And then walked out. So Junior got so pissed at this. I just kind of thought it was weird and laughed it off. But Junior was the one talking on that live spot, and so it was disrupting him. And so he hauled out of there and went in, and Donovan was in the other room when Junior went in there.
Minding my own business, all of a sudden Junior kicks the door in, and he's like, don't you ever come in and do something like that again. And he's kind of turned around. I was like, we're about to fight. Like, I thought that was it. You know what I said? I've got Gordon.
You were going to fight me.
No, of course not.
Which would have been easy because I wouldn't have fought you at all.
It would have been easy for you, too. That's why I called dibs on Gordon. Because we'll stand there and just talk. Oh, what are they doing? They're scrapping over there. What's going on? You doing all right? Okay, good.
Oh,
that was
great.
really, really funny, man. And you know what I did? I started listening the whole day, thinking that they were going to rip us to shreds. And no one even said a thing about it. I think the Hardline mentioned Humble one time during the show, and then that was it. And I was like, okay. I just didn't want them to say anything badly about me. I was an innocent bystander in this. I didn't want to take any friendly fire or non-friendly fire around here. But that was wild. I love that. That was so funny, man. But I did call.
It was so tense.
Yeah, I know
it was really tense.
Almost
because
when
Junior gets mad. Junior gets mad. I mean, we don't see him mad very often.
No.
But when he is mad, he gets the maddest of anyone.
And that's why I called dibs on Gordon.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it easy for me. 7th grade is my last scrap, man. I'm out of practice. Gordon would have kicked my butt.
All right, so we got round 2 tomorrow, guys. We got round 2 tomorrow. What time is that starting up tomorrow, Randy? You know?
I think it's going to be around 11 because I'm going to join in on Country Force and what's this noon to 2 show called again? Afternoon Delight. I think that's what they're calling themselves. So we'll check in periodically to see how I'm doing as far as the tournament goes. And then it was last year during the kick around when we gave away the car. So we'll probably follow that same formula here this time. And it's probably starting around 11 o'clock and maybe around 3:15-ish is when we'll give away the car for tomorrow. So you still have time. We close the tickets, purchasing the raffle tickets at 2 o'clock tomorrow. So if you're still thinking about it, or you want to go and purchase a couple of more to increase your chances, or to buy that ticket for that impoverished family, just go to theticket.com where all the information is and buy those raffle tickets. So proud of everyone that the Domino tournament was sold out. I really do appreciate that. That's really awesome. That means that, everyone is supporting me, supporting Randy, supporting At Last, because that's what it's all about. And now we need to sell those raffle tickets for more support so we can get as many names as we possibly can, so we can give away this vehicle and maybe change the life of a family who truly needs it. Or, you know what? Excite the mess out of a P1 who wins a brand new car. They don't have to pay any winner's taxes when they win this car. So it's just grab the keys, go off and do your thing. And you know what? I may just fill that thing up with snacks again. We filled it up with snacks the first time, right? A whole bunch of just snacks. So we'll run that back. We'll run the snack train back in the back of that car and have a ton of snacks back there, so you guys can not only enjoy the car, but maybe have a few cheese puffs in your hand while you're driving down the street and throwing them up in the air while you drive that bad boy home. So ticket.com, or if you want to go straight to atlast.kindful.com and donate there, you can also do that. So we're trying to drum it up, man. This is our telethon here to try to raise as much money as we can for the fine folks and the kids and the families of for At Last.
What's your prediction tomorrow? How's it going to go for you? What's your record going to be?
You can't win them all, so I'm not going to say 6-0. I'll say 5-1.
5-1.
Yeah. Did you know how much pressure I had the first year when I lost the first 4 games in a row? The first time we did this, I was going to lose every single game in my tournament, and you were rooting for that. You were actively rooting for me to lose every single game, and I was getting so mad.
It was very entertaining. It was great.
But wound up 2-4 the first year, 4-2 the second year. So let's improve on that. I don't know. I'm seeing some of these names that are winning these brackets, and the first one I wrote out, Real P1, he is tough. We battle back and forth all the time. As a matter of fact, they keep stats on this whole thing. I can tell you my record against him also. Let's see. You guys talk amongst yourselves while
I'm sitting here. I'm trying to figure out how I can make good and purchase my family compassion tickets for the SUV raffle. I'm sitting here looking at the
See, I'm searching for
this.
I'm searching for records that I have people that I have a losing record against. Man, I just can't find anyone. Just have a winning record against
vomit.
64%.
I have a winning record against everyone,
but not a huge one if you're at 64% overall. Right?
Okay, so real P1, the guy I'm playing tomorrow, we have played together 187 games.
Oh, wow.
And I'm 100. I've won exactly 100 of those. He's won 87. So it's a battle.
Yeah.
He's a good domino player. But as I scroll down, look at that. I'm 62-5 against that. Oh, sorry about that. 62-5 against that one person. I'm truly trying to – okay, there's one person that I've won 27 games. They won 29. They have the upper hand on me. It's pretty much the only one as you keep scrolling down. Oh, look at there. Just winning record.
When are you coming over to see the kids, Donovan?
Whenever you'll have me, man.
They need to see a radio superstar. They haven't seen one in a while.
Yeah, they do.
They see Gordon all the time when they go to the washroom and they see his face right above the dryer sheets.
And hey, it's also cool. I ought to mention that Randy named the nurses station because they have a nurse that is there too. After Craig's mom, she was a nurse.
Oh, cool.
Jody Miller was a nurse.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's
really cool.
That was great. I remember when we shared that with him, and you all were there.
It's extremely meaningful to him.
Yeah, that was great. It was a good time. And Gordon's going to be helping out with the design of the second house and sort of the layout of the campus because he's a visionary and a general contractor, as I understand it.
Yes.
Is that
I know how to build a thing. I know how
Bring
to
that
make
Randy
a thing
Cody
great.
out, right?
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Damn straight I know it.
No, I'm really truly excited about the future of At Last because, you know, it got off to such a great start. I mean, even during a pandemic when it could have been held back and a lot of things could have stopped the progress of it, it didn't. And it's the help of everyone, of course, Randy and his vision, but the P1s and their generosity as far as donating to the Domino tournament and just At Last in general, that's helped out a ton. And now when you go on the campus and see the vision about what the future is going to look like, and I just see such great things for At Last and the kids in the neighborhood and my old hood that's going to pay dividends for a long, long time. Like you could walk out of At Last, start the trek to my parents' house, and we'll be there. It's about a 15-minute walk, so it's just right there in my neighborhood. And just to see that kind of facility, that kind of program benefiting the kids in that neighborhood is just unheard of. Those benefits are always afforded to people who can afford it. You know, and for people that can't afford it, that don't even think that an opportunity like that can arise, and now it has. It's just, it's almost kind of overwhelming when you think about it for real. I don't want to get mushy here and stuff, but it is quite overwhelming because I think a lot of people may be hesitant to do something like this, and I don't mean any disrespect to anyone, because I can almost hear it when that program is even offered and they'll say, that's for white folks, you know, like we don't do stuff like that around here. And that's when I get a little frustrated because, you know, we joke all the time, hey, we're doing this and it's white people land and all that stuff and it's funny and we do different things and all that stuff, and I get it, but when you have opportunities like this, and I think a lot of people will not want to do it because they think it's for white people or not for them, or we don't do stuff like that, you just severely close your mind and your thoughts to the possibilities of what can happen. And things like this, again, like we talked earlier before you got here, Randy, I would have thought that my parents would look at an opportunity like this and say, you know what, this is something that we need to do. Like, it's taking them away from home, and I may have been like, no, I don't know if I want to do this or not. You know, I'll be away from my home and my family and all that stuff. But the advantages that it can have and pays off in the long run is just too big to even pass up. And it's really cool, man. I don't know if I can you can try to find a thesaurus and find the other words to describe it, but I think it just comes back to saying it's really, really cool, and it's an opportunity that's not afforded to the people that look like me in the neighborhood where I grew up in, and now it is. So just the help from everyone around and backing this and supporting this, and not one person saying this is a terrible. What are you talking about? Everyone realizing what a great idea this is really cool.
Randy, how long does it take to push back any resistance that you may get from a parent? Does it just take explaining the program briefly, simply, and to get that buy-in?
I just have to, excuse me, I just have to visit with them so that they understand the perspective of the person who created me and what my motivation was, which is to honor my mom and her sacrifices in my life. And then they simply need to know that my mom was a mom in a similar situation to them, so that they know that I don't look at them through the eyes of judgment, but I look at them as a hero that my mom was. When they come to understand that they're not being judged, but they're being supported, it doesn't take long for them to understand that we're a partner for them. So I've yet to have a mom who didn't understand who we are and why we're here. And we do treat these mothers as a hero because the only reason their child is with us is because that mom chose us for that child. And it works out great. I mean, these mothers have been fantastic. The kids have been fantastic. It's a really cool story. It's great to see it unfold in the lives of people who don't have the resources to do this kind of thing. And it gives them a chance. It gives them a chance to show that they value education. And they simply haven't always had the resources to articulate that value through the choices they make in life. And so now that they have a chance to do it, they do it. And it's working out great. And yeah, I've had the fun of doing a lot of cool things over the course of my career. Nothing approaches this. And so I thank the P1s for their support. I thank you guys for making this happen. I thank Dan Bennett for being a good partner in it. But this is as good as it gets, man. This is what we should be trying to do. And this is why I'll always have respect for the P1s, because they put their money where their like is on social media. And I love that. I love that. I think that's how this should be.
Well, awesome. Thank you guys for coming up here on a Friday night and doing this. We streamed for a couple hours. We got the Domino tournament underway. Round 1 is just about in the books here. And we got round 2 tomorrow.
Oh, they better do their push-ups tomorrow.
Yeah, because Donnie's going to get involved tomorrow, and he's going to be playing.
Going in.
If people would like to donate, they can go to atlas.kindful.com. Also, I
so badly.
tweeted out the link to the Donnie's Domino DFW Domino Classic page. And on there, that's where you can purchase raffle tickets for the car that you guys are giving away, the SUV that you're giving away tomorrow. You can purchase tickets for yourself there. There's also an option where you can purchase tickets for families, other families who may need this, and you can purchase the raffle tickets for them so that they get entered to win this. You can do that right there on that page that I tweeted out the link to. So help us out. Donate to It Last. You guys have gotten to know Randy over the years here on the ticket. You guys know me and Donnie. You know how much we believe in this. So help us out. P1s are always extremely generous when we ask them to.
Yeah, can I give a little love to Mullen & Mullen Personal Injury Law Firm for being the title sponsor for this?
Sponsor.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes. And their help has been so appreciated and so grateful to making this thing go. And I'm so excited to not only wrap up the Domino tournament tomorrow, but to give away that car. And I was blown away the first year when we did this, the total. I don't know what I was expecting, but the P1s jumped aboard and made this way more than I thought that we would ever dream about raising in 1 year, the first year we did this. And now we're 4 years in, and I'm looking forward to the number again because I have a little preview, and I think we're all going to be happy with it. But we still got a ways to go. So if we can get those donations to atlast.kindful.com or go purchase that raffle ticket for your chance to win that car, and I think everyone will be truly, truly amazed and surprised by the number and what that money will do for those kids at Last. So we still got a little more time. 2 o'clock tomorrow is when we shut down the sales for the tickets for the SUV raffle. So jump on that.
Be a good guy. Invite the P1s over, and we'll have a P1 day one day.
Heck yeah. Let's do that. All right, we'll definitely do that in the future. I want to take Gordon. I know this will be the last thing. I want to take Gordon around on the hood tour.
I love that.
Put him in the car, show him all the schools I went to, the places we hang out, and all that stuff. And I kind of want to do that same with you too, also, because he grew up in Pleasant Grove. I grew up in South Oak Cliff, and while we were kind of rivals at times because you cross that Loop 12 bridge a little,
Yes, sir.
you can get into enemy territory. I would love to see how he went about his youth. And I think it's interesting to see how he grew up and then how I grew up. But I would love to take you on that tour.
I'm totally into that. That's one of my favorite things. Is going with anyone back into their past and just sitting out in front of some house that they used to live in. And go, man, and stuff occurs to you that you haven't thought about in a long time, and it's great storytelling.
And how I can rattle off the last names of probably 10 houses each way on the street of all the neighbors who live there and all that stuff. So yeah, we'll definitely do that. I would love to have like the TMZ tour. Get a double-decker bus. Just take a whole bunch of P1s around with the microphone. This is where, something like that. But we'll get that done. Thank you, Gordon, man. Seriously.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
This tonight and all your work and help in getting this done. And your support of At Last in the tournament, you guys allow me on the show and all that stuff. I truly appreciate it. You guys are great, man.
Absolutely. And for those watching, we are all in the same room. We just couldn't all get on the same camera. Let's see if I can turn this around and see if I can show where you guys are.
Does it feel like you're being a little exclusive here. You're in a room
I
by
don't
yourself.
like-
I'm too good to be in a room with those two.
Optics don't look good.
Sure, put us in the back of the room, Gordon. Put us in the back of the room.
You managing your image again? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing here? Okay.
I just had to be in the prettiest light.
There you go.
All right. Thanks you P1s who tuned in.
Yes,
Spend a little
thank
Friday
you so
night with
much.
us here. And donate. The little link is right there on the screen right now. Go there, donate, help us out, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday morning
yes.
with the update of all the totals of what we got and everything. And so stay tuned for that on Tuesday when we return back on the air. Thank you, Mr. Randy Bowman.
Yes.
The great Randy
Yes.
Bowman.
Thank you, guys, and thank you, P1.